It's the Friday Morning Thumb on the Live 88.5 Morning Startup.
Louis V. Hobson not available this morning, but for your movie reviews and a pick for the weekend, we have Di Golding from Ottawa-based film review website Dear Cast and Crew in this morning. Hello, Di.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, really great. Well, is it a thumb up or a thumbs down this morning?
Well, we've got one very green thumb up. It's a slightly cynical thumb, but it's all the way up for Hunger Games MockingJay Part 2. Okay. For the 6 people that still don't know, it is the 4th film in the Hunger Games series.
Right.
And it's only slightly cynical because in some ways they should have just called this film License to Print Money 2, Electric Boogaloo, because it is expected to bring in 120 to 125 million on its opening weekend. Wow. And if every critic in the world decided to trash this film, to quote Bill Murray in Meatballs, it just doesn't matter.
Right.
It's not like someone's going to say, I saw the first 3 and I really love them, but I'm going to sit the 4th out. It's if this film was a 10-minute action sequence followed by Jennifer Lawrence reading from the phone book, it would still gross more than the GDP of Burundi. Yeah. So let's just leave that one aside. Right. Nothing will keep people from seeing this movie. And at this point, what do we really need to even say about the film? It's the last in the series based on Susan Collins' popular 3 young adult series that they turned into 4 movies because money. But hype aside, is it actually any good? Well, yeah, it is. It's intense. It's exciting. It looks incredible. The score is good. CGI is seamless. The acting is top notch. And it is far, far darker than the other films, which is saying something.
Really?
It really is.
More kids killing each other.
Yeah, who doesn't want to see that?
It's fun
and
for the whole family.
And pay for the privilege. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it depends on the family.
Yeah.
And if you've read all the books, it actually still manages to be suspenseful, which is saying something. And I actually forgot this going in until I saw him on screen, but it is Philip Seymour Hoffman's last film role.
Really?
Yeah, and it was kind of like seeing a ghost because they'd filmed the 3rd and 4th movies together. So when he came on screen, I just kind of wanted to give him a big hug.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I know. And it's his last movie, and he plays Games Master Plutarch Heavensby. Although he isn't in much of it, his scenes are with Julianne Moore, who plays President Coyne, and they're great together. And I also think maybe I was just getting nostalgic for Big Lebowski and Boogie Nights, just seeing them together on screen. So, I had a little bit of a moment. There is one scene near the end that is fairly obvious CGI. Philip Seymour Hoffman, like motion capture Philip Seymour Hoffman, kind of like what they did with the Furious 7.
Right.
You only really notice if you're looking for it, which of course now you all will.
Yeah.
So you're welcome. But all in all, it's a solid bookend to the series, which even if you aren't a fan, you have to give it credit for being a game changer. Yeah. It's Lionsgate's first film franchise. And so far, they're betting 1,000 because the series has made over $2.3 billion worldwide.
Jeez.
Yeah, Mockingjay Part 1 made over $755 million alone. It introduced audiences to Jennifer Lawrence.
That's true.
Who doesn't love her? It's like not loving dolphins and rainbows. Until then she had just done an indie flick that she, Winter's Bone. She had an Oscar nom for that, and now she's obviously won one. She's been nominated for another one, and they're talking another one for this one. So pretty fantastic. We all know and love Jennifer Lawrence. And the best thing I think about the series is that most notable thing maybe is that is the top opener ever for a movie with a female lead. So thank you, Hunger Games. Yeah, since The Exorcist. So it was 40 years.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's notable for that. And, speaking of The Exorcist, this leads us to another creepy little film. Okay. Now, this is maybe a smaller thumb up, but I think we need to give this thumb some love.
Okay.
It's a bloody thumb, so, we need some tender loving care. It's a Canadian film, and we love to show the Canadian films love at Dear Cast and Crew, and it's called Man Versus. And it's kind of an anti-Hunger Games, although it does share some similarities, namely the premise of being trapped in the woods with someone or something trying to kill you.
Right.
Yeah, Man Versus, it's proof that you don't need a huge budget to make an intense and crafty little thriller. In fact, this is one of those movies that is even more clever because of its budget limitations. It's about a TV personality named Doug Woods. He's got a Survivor Man. Yeah, they thought that went through. He's got a Survivor Man type TV series called Woods Versus, where he's left in the middle of nowhere for 5 days with very few supplies and a couple of GoPro cameras.
Right.
His crew drops him off on a remote island on the Canadian Shield and kind of subtly say, hey, dude, amp up the stakes this season. We're close to getting a network deal. Well, after the first day, a few weird things start happening, and Doug starts to think, maybe I'm not alone out here. So this, yeah, dun dun dun. This is where the creativity comes in because the filmmakers use tropes we're familiar with: the Survivor reality TV show, suspense, horror, and they really let the film's intensity build on our preconceived notions. So for the most part, it's just one guy on camera. So we're left to wonder: is Doug being followed by the creepy local guide the crew hired to bring him to the island? Right. Is his crew screwing with him to help the show get better ratings? Is Doug losing his mind? Is there really something out there? And if so, is it a ghost, an animal, a monster? We just don't know.
Isn't this Blair Witch?
It kind of is without the, forced confession and the snot bubble, which I've missed. And you know what? There are a few as if moments, like there are in any movie of this ilk, but in general, the film is economical in story, scope, and time. At just under an hour and a half, it doesn't waste a minute, and the very little CGI they employ is used to great effect, proving that you don't need a $160 million budget. Hunger Games, to tell a great story. No, I love the Hunger Games. Who doesn't? So having less money sometimes forces you to be more clever and creative, and Man vs. is proof of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so opening the same weekend is...
Yeah, well, I think it opened last weekend, and because every screen is playing Mockingjay in the known universe, you're going to have to seek this one out, and it's definitely worth seeking out. If the filmmakers were smart, maybe they'd just put it on in the parking lot of one of the theaters. hope that people that didn't get in to see Mockingjay will sneak outside and check it out. It's worth it.
You got to think out of the box or out of the big box theater. Okay. It's Di Golding right there from Ottawa-based film review website Dear Cast and Crew. A pleasure to see you. We'll see you next week.
You too. Thanks.
8:17 now at Live 88.5.
Ottawa traffic on Live 88.5.
This traffic for Civic Motors Honda.